Hi, tribe. How is everyone? I'm in my garden. It's not as nice as it was yesterday, but it's nice to be outside. Just thought I'd make a video just to say hi. The simple truth is, I miss people. I miss you all. Um, I'm finding this quite hard. There are lots of things I'm loving. Well, a few things I'm loving. Lots of things I'm struggling with. Um, but I wanted to just check in with people, see how you are. Let you know I think about you a lot, and trying to think through all the people that I would normally be seeing and having breakfast with, and chucking emails to, and having coffee and talking about ministry. And I just want you to let you know that you're in my mind. I'm sorry if I've not communicated as much. I'm enjoying homeschooling Zach so Kirsty can work, which has been a joy. It hasn't been too much of a challenge, which I thank God for, but I suppose it's early days. But we're very thankful for a boy who's quite resilient. I just wanted to share a couple of thoughts that I hope will encourage you. Um, I'm finding, for myself, I'm finding it hard to, I feel like I'm not productive, so I need to change almost the criteria of what is productive. I remember hearing a talk in America when I was out there about actually the way we measure success needs to change, because it's very driven around sort of numbers or bums on seats, I think Vickers say. And I suppose I've got to change my measure of what is productive, because normally productive is the amount of people I've had conversations with, the fuel setup, and the weekend away that I ran, and the time I spent with my team. And so actually they're not great measures at the moment, because we're having to cancel or postpone events. So actually I need to look at a different measure, and maybe you need to look at a different measure as well. So I'm really thankful for fuel. Both of them, but last Sunday night particularly, we're going to try and do it every week, because I think we need to. But also, selfishly, it gives me something where I feel like I'm of use. Um, yeah, and I'm missing, without sounding too mushy, I'm missing contact with people. There's something great about the Christian embrace and the 3 backslap hug that guys give, and just the face to face in coffee shops. But I'm reflective that actually there are worse places. I'm in my home, and it's safe, and I'm with my family. I'm with my son, and he's making me laugh, and he's healthy, and I'm occasionally in my garden. And these are all things to give thanks for. And yeah, so I'm really thankful for that. The things that I've really sort of been reflecting on is the presence of God, but almost just looking really different from the way I sort of know Him to be present before. So, and maybe, I don't know whether you experienced this, but the presence of God was maybe dominated by physical places or physical gatherings. So when we gather as church, when we, it's worship to me when we have breakfast, and I feel that God is present there. And when we're in prayer meetings, and when we're doing fuel and doing Excite and doing residentials, I feel God really present. And actually, God is still present, but I'm just noticing Him in different ways, which has been really, really encouraging. So it'd be good to know what ways God is showing Himself to you, because I think that would encourage everyone, because, as you know, I love talking to people about their faith journeys and finding out how they see God and the way He moves and uses them. And actually, at a time like this, when things are a little bit more uncertain, it's really important to see what God is doing. So do let me know. My sort of reflections on what's going from is that I think it's really important that we adjust and adapt. It's not easy as a 49-year-old man who's likes a routine, likes a plan, but we need to think, how do we adapt? And so my adaptation plan has been to shape my day of mornings with Zach, and to then send some emails, and then get in the garden and play with Zach and schedule Zoom meetings. So actually, how do we adapt our daily routines? And some friends of mine have been really, helpful in saying, actually, keep your meal times the same as they were. Just adapt so that you can carry on a certain routine. I think it's really important to find friends that, wouldn't we all love to have had shares in Zoom a while ago? But actually finding friends to talk with, but also lament with, because, I talked to one friend and she's having the time of her life. She thinks this is brilliant. And then I'm talking to some other friends and it's really difficult. And then I'm talking to a lot of people and they're sort of finding their way. For me, I've left my phone away from me quite a bit, and I've tried to be really present in the house. I've limited my news. I find the news really depressing because I'm just hankering for some good news to be able to see an end point. And the news, the media don't really work like that, do they? So I'm limiting my news. I'm thankful for this time, realising that what's more important than seeing my boy grow up, seeing how people work differently, seeing the church almost find itself again. I'm really thankful that the church hasn't shrunk away. It could be the greatest thing ever to happen to our church, that we stop prioritising the Sunday 10:30 gathering and we see the world as a bigger place and we see church as more than that gathering. So I'm excited for where church is going, and my prayer is that we won't revert when this is all over. I just encourage you to reach out. I'd love to Zoom with you. We're trying to get a Zoom breakfast, a virtual breakfast. So do watch out for that. I'm going to try and get that email out this week, and maybe we can compare all the different breakfasts we're having. And yeah, Zoom me if you want to chat. It's important we stay connected, whatever that looks like. From random videos. Tori sent me a random video of her and Rob doing a dance about llamas yesterday. On any normal day, that would seem peculiar, but actually on lockdown, it was a breath of fresh air. So yeah, do stay in contact with each other, share things. I think the other measure is the other thing to just bear in mind is sort of the overload. I think a lot of people, almost like when something changes quick, we sort of react and we sort of pile everything on. But actually, if we've got to do this for a couple of months, we need to balance it and make sure we rest and take some time. So don't feel like there's no failure here, because no one's ever been here before. And I've tried to remind my team that, I'm going to pay you no matter how many hours you do. We can't measure success like we've done before. We can't measure productivity like we did before. So do be kind to yourself, because this is a season. It's a season that will pass, and maybe this is base camp on Mount Everest, and we're just getting our lungs acclimatized for the ascent, for what's next. So you need to look after yourselves, and we want to help you do that. Let me just pray. I want to pray for you, each one of you. I do, in a soppy way, I do genuinely miss you guys. I love my job, and this is not the same, and I've not yet completely fell in love with this way of working. I'm almost a bit like doing it through gritted teeth. I'm like sitting in a dentist chair. I know it's got to happen, but I'm not going to enjoy it at all. Actually, that's a rubbish analogy. Who enjoys the dentist? But it's almost like, yeah, I'm waffling on. Let me pray. Dear God, thank you that you are as present as ever. And I pray for my friends that I serve with. I pray for my friends that I pray with. I pray for my friends that I laugh and celebrate ministry with. And I thank you for the connection we each have and the shared journey we have. And wherever these guys are now, I pray that you would be close, that you would hold them tight if they're feeling lost, that you would encourage them. You would remind them they're not alone, both from you and from each of us. So would we reach out? Would we take some time to really say, what are you doing in this time? And if it's breathing and resting and Sabbath, then there is no loss there for us to do that. to be really close and remind us to be kind to ourselves. And would you almost be painting that horizon that we're heading towards, of that first time we're going to meet again, that first church gathering, that first breakfast, that first fuel, that first planning meeting, when we're in the same room, and the joy that that will be. Remind us of the hope that we have in you. Amen. Guys, you're amazing. Here's my virtual coffee with you. May it be a face-to-face one soon.